What's going on, everybody? You are now tuned in to the Triple M Boxing channel, your source for all y'all boxing needs. And August 10th was a crazy night, man. And it seems like every weekend we just being blessed with crazy fights, but this in particular was literally a back and forth barn burner, action packed, nonstop. What was going on? First thing I was thinking, but let me backtrack a bit. It was Serhii Bohachuk versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. Unbelievable fight. First observations, first thing that came through my mind after watching this whole fight was the first 6 rounds, they threw way more punches than Shakur Stevenson in his whole career. That's all I gotta say.
6. Oh my gosh. Maybe first round. No, I'm kidding.
That was nuts.
That's what made it really exciting. And it's if you're not a boxing fan and you want to start boxing, these are the fights that you have to watch. Obviously, of course, Stevenson. For a non-boxing fan, it's hard to, for someone that just boxes, hit and not get hit. It's hard to like the sport if that's all you watch. But man, Vergil Ortiz, that's the guy to watch. Serhii Bohachuk, that's the guy to watch. And Billy, this coming weekend, that's the guy to watch. So that's I think this fight, although it's really controversial, I think it lived up to the hype. But at the end of the day, it's the judges, in my opinion, always find a way to make it controversial. But, man, let's get into it. I'm gonna ask you first. What do you think? What do you think of the fight?
I thought the fight was absolutely jam-packed. I thought it was extremely close. And in my opinion, I thought Serhii won. Okay, now here's my reasoning. Number one, Bohachuk's the champ.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if you're trying to dethrone the champ, you got to dethrone him significantly. Right? At best, if anything, that fight could have been a draw and there could have been a rematch right after it. But in my opinion, man, if there's 2 knockdowns, the first one wasn't counted as a knockdown, but then counted as a knockdown, and the second one in the 8th round, it was an incredibly close fight. But in my opinion, man, I think Serhii did enough to secure his spot as champ.
Totally agree. It's I'll start with this. It sucks. Well, not sucks, but it's funny because before this fight, I was just my head. I'm like, this fight is not going to distance. First, you got Vergil Ortiz that never went to distance before this fight. You got Bohachuk that just went to distance for the first time in his career, fighting Ocampo. They were combined what? There was like 21 and Bohachuk was 21 and 23 and 1 and 22 knockouts or something. And Vergil was 21 and 21 knockouts. Start with that. I thought this fight wasn't gonna. I thought the judges wouldn't matter anyways. You know what I mean? But I was wrong. The judges did matter. I did have Bohachuk actually winning this fight. Pretty close, but close but clear in my opinion. Ortiz was active the first few rounds, but Bohachuk was there. Ortiz was throwing bombs. Obviously, he had a little bit more power than Bohachuk. And he had the 2 knockdowns. I thought it was extremely close in the middle rounds towards the end, but I thought the 2 knockdowns would make the difference. Even though you thought the fight was a draw, the 2 knockdowns would have been the difference maker in this fight. In my opinion, that would have gotten Bohachuk the victory. I'm looking at CompuBox right now. Although obviously the punches land and thrown doesn't really tell a lot, but if you look at it, it's close. Bohachuk landed 225 total punches, versus Ortiz landed 40 more at 265. But Bohachuk actually threw about 100 punches more. So he was more active. Obviously, Ortiz is just more accurate. But at the end of the day, I thought it was a Bohachuk win. And, to be honest, I think there should be a rematch in this fight.
I agree, man. And the one thing that was crazy, and this like really shocked me, was Bohachuk's chin. Oh, he can take some crazy shots. I'm surprised he didn't go down at all near the end of rounds.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I was shocked.
I was just gonna say, man, his chin, the way he got hurt. He got hurt a couple of times in that fight, but I mean, who doesn't against Vergil Ortiz? But one thing, man, when he got hurt, he recovered really well. If you think about it, Vergil Ortiz is the one that got hit and went down. Although you can argue it's you know, Ortiz wasn't hurt, but you know, technicalities. If you get hit right after a punch and your gloves touch the canvas, that's a knockdown. That's what happened in both times. I thought both of them were legit knockdowns, but yeah, I agree. Bohachuk's chin is granite, man. He deserves to, like I say, he actually, in my opinion, he deserved the win. Would I call it a robbery? It's hard. It's hard to say. It was a really close fight. It's hard, you know. It's not like it's clear as day on who won. I wouldn't call it a robbery, but what I'd say is the right guy didn't win in this match.
You're absolutely right, man. And in my opinion, I think they're just trying to set up the really big fight. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know what fight? Do you know what fight I'm thinking of?
Yeah, and I think that's the fight that they're trying to make happen. But hey, we got to talk about the 154 division.
Oof, crazy.
You know, obviously, Mr. Turkey said he wants Crawford next against Vergil Ortiz, which I don't mind it. You know, Vergil Ortiz is tough, although I thought he lost, man. If it's a Crawford fight presents itself, they're gonna take it right away, and it's a no-brainer. Would you rematch Bohachuk that, you know, people thought that beat you, or would you go to a arguably a smaller guy in Terrence Crawford? It's a no-brainer. If I'm Vergil Ortiz, I'd go to the next guy. But he also said after, if he doesn't get Crawford, he's waiting for the Spence versus Fundora. So the future of the 154 division is good, man. These guys are targeting the champions, and that's how it should be. Vergil Ortiz isn't a champion yet, although he has the interim belt. The real champion is Fundora. The real champion is Spence. I mean, it's Crawford, and he's aiming for those. So I can't wait to see what's in store for that division, man.
Yeah, man. I honestly would love to see a Fundora Ortiz fight.
That's another barn burner.
That'd be another crazy one. You know,
yeah.
Like, we'll see if Ortiz can handle that elbow from Fundora. You know, that lethal elbow.
See, that's the thing, man. That'll be a great matchup. But guess what? Regardless on who fights, as long as they fight each other, it's a great matchup. You know, imagine a Tim Tszyu versus Vergil Ortiz. Hell, a Tim Tszyu and Bohachuk.
Yeah,
will be crazy. Obviously, anyone against Bud is crazy. So I just can't wait to see. But I think, you know, if we don't get the Bohachuk rematch, I say straight for Crawford, because right now Crawford just fought. You just fought. It's perfect. You know, you guys get 6 months before the fight, or a few months. It's just perfect, because right now we're waiting for Spence and Fundora, if that's even going to happen, right? So if I'm Vergil, just focus on getting that Bud, and you know, time to challenge Bud Crawford himself.
Exactly, man. Collecting the belts one champ at a time, and that's one thing. That's the one thing I like about the 154 division, man. Like, they're not holding up the belts.
No,
at all.
They gotta fight.
They're just trying to unify, undisputed. They're trying to do it all.
Yep.
God willing, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Turkey's backing them up, right? So I know it's gonna be a good it's a good division. No one's scared of anyone. So it's and everyone, in my opinion, at this point, except for Fundora, obviously, everyone's the same size. Because Vergil Ortiz was a big welterweight, so now he's 154. Crawford, now we just got the reports that he was heavier than Madrimov. Obviously, he was the bigger guy during that fight. Madrimov is big. Tim Tszyu is big. Fundora is bigger. Spence, hell, he probably can fight at 175 right now. So they're all equal, you know, in terms of height and size, except for Fundora. But so it'll be, and they're all different styles. So I can't wait to see what they have in store, man.
Yeah, and last question before we end it here, man, because we spoke a little bit about Vergil. Now Bohachuk, what's next for this guy? You know, coming off of what, a loss now?
A loss.
Do you think like what's next for him? Like this, yeah, sure, the one loss against Ortiz, very questionable. Like, what's the next fight for Bohachuk?
It sucks because, in my opinion, I thought he won, but this loss, it's like it's not going to obviously do him any good. It's just going to put him a little bit. It's gonna, he's gonna have to step back a little bit. But man, there's a lot of fights for him. Obviously, assuming Vergil gets Crawford, man, we got Madrimov. We got Madrimov waiting. Hell, we got Tim Tszyu. There's maybe if Spence doesn't get the Fedora fight, maybe there's a Spence fight. Maybe there's the guy in the co-main. I think there's still a few options for Bohachuk. He probably will not get a world title shot right away, but I think he's another win or two away to get that world title, because it's like I said, I thought he won the fight. He might get, if Madrimov needs a dance partner, hey, Bohachuk is right there. Maybe they can be a co-main of the Bud versus, that's a good co-main event. Bud versus Ortiz, right? And then the winner fights the winner. So I think he's still in the mix. He just took a step back like Madrimov. So, I think it just makes sense for them to fight each other. And that'll be a great fight too, man. Styles make fight. That'll be a great fight.
That'd be a really good one. You know what else would be a good fight? Lubin.
Oh, yeah.
Can't forget about our boy Lubin. Him against Bohachuk. That would be a good fight as well. But
that always brings the heat.
He hasn't fought in a long time.
No.
September, I think.
Was
September,
it Fedora?
October.
Fedora? No, it wasn't Fedora.
His last fight was against Jesus Alejandro Ramos Jr.
Oh,
won that fight
Ramos. Yeah. I beat him. That was an upset. I remember that. Yeah, he beat that guy is good too, Jesus Ramos. So if he needs, like I said, there's 154 is in good hands, man. So there's a lot of guys that are gonna throw in. And to add to that, actually, lastly, it's Danny Garcia. He can be in the 154 mix. I know he's fighting for the belt against Lara, but it's a catch weight at 157. Danny Garcia definitely isn't a 160 pounder. If he loses or he wins, I think he should go down to 154. And let's not forget, we have Jermell Charlo still kind of hanging around. We don't know what he's going to do, but if he comes back, man, there's a lot of names in that division.
And that's if he comes back. Might just be chilling for all we know,
Yeah. I'm hoping he does, but he's probably going to come back heavier, which is fine.
Exactly. One way to find out, man. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think Bohachuk won that fight? Because I think I did. You think Vergil Ortiz did enough to win that fight? Let us know why in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, we are the opposite of in.
Peace.
Out.